My name is Chief Mike Loux of the Largo Police Department. I'm here to talk about a shooting that occurred a couple days ago. Just after midnight this past Monday, April 1st, the Largo Police Department, Pinellas Park Police Department, and the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office began receiving phone calls in reference to a shooting in the area of the Charleston on 66 apartment complex, which is located at 12700 66th Street North. As officers arrived to the area, they located a person lying on the sidewalk just outside the apartment complex. The person had been shot at least 3 times and was transported to an area hospital. He's been identified as Carlos Medina, a male, 9/21 of 2006. Carlos passed as a result of being shot. As officers were trying to piece together what had occurred, Pinellas Park Police Department located another gunshot victim just south of the area. This person was also transported to an area hospital and is expected to recover. In the 48 hours following this incident, detectives from the Largo Police Department have pieced together what had occurred on that evening. In the early hours of Monday, April 1st, 2024, the second victim was hanging out with a group of juveniles and traveling between the Charleston on 66 apartment complex and the Sky Zone trampoline park, which is located at 13000 66th Street North. Within this group of juveniles was a female named Athalia Medina. She's a female, date of birth 8/11 of 2008. While hanging out with this group of juveniles, Thalia was in contact with her brother Carlos and another subject by the name of Jonathan Garcia. He's a male, date of birth 4/7 of 2008. Thalia was providing her brother Carlos and his friend Jonathan information about the group of juveniles, where they were moving from, in an attempt to set up a robbery. The goal was for Carlos and Jonathan to rob the juvenile of a firearm that he was carrying. At approximately 7 minutes past midnight, Carlos and Jonathan confronted the victim and attempted to rob him of his firearm. This attempt resulted in a shootout where both Carlos and the other victim, and the robbery victim, were shot. Carlos fell to the sidewalk at the location of the robbery, and the other juvenile fled south, which is where Pinellas Park Police Department ultimately located him. As a result of the investigation, and within 48 hours of the initial shooting, as I said, the detectives were able to piece this puzzle together and make the appropriate charges in concert with the state attorney's office. For her role in setting up the robbery and getting her brother involved, Thalia Medina is being charged with felony murder in the second degree. She's currently in custody at JDC. In addition, Jonathan Garcia, the one that traveled with Carlos, is in custody at JDC and being charged with felony murder in the second degree for the passing of Carlos Medina and attempted felony murder for the other juvenile that was injured. Both of these subjects were carrying 9mm Glock firearms. That's 2 of the weapons that were involved in the case. If you guys have any other questions, I can answer whatever I can. Understanding, of course, it's still an active investigation. We still have a lot of ends to kind of tie up with it.
How old was the victim?
The victim was a juvenile.
You can't give us his age.
Approximately 16. I have some of the investigators here. If I could, I'll refer to them if I don't know the answer, or ask them to come up.
All right. Were the guns stolen?
We're still looking into whether or not the guns were stolen, so that's still part of the investigation.
Did the juvenile legally own the gun?
They were all juveniles, and being out and about at 12 o'clock at night in possession of a firearm under 21, no, it's not legal.
Were they registered to the parents or anything?
As far as where they're registered, whether they're stolen or not, again, that's all part of what they're still going on. The immediate concern for the detectives was to find out, again, what was the cause of the shooting, who the bad guy was in the shooting, and to make sure the community was safe. They've done that, and now this is the part of the investigation where they'll start tying all those loose ends up and making sure it all fits together neatly.
Chief, where the shooting was, were other people in danger? This shooting put, innocent lives at risk?
There was actually a pedestrian or a vehicle that was driving down 66th Street. One of the stray rounds hit the windshield of that car. They were uninjured, but they did go to the hospital because they had a panic attack because a bullet flew into their windshield. It didn't go through the windshield. It just scared them. No other parties were injured.
Can you speak to the recklessness of these juveniles using firearms?
The recklessness of the whole thing, when you consider the fact that it's, after midnight, you have a group of juveniles that are, under 18 years of age, traveling in between the Sky Zone and the apartment complex where they didn't live, carrying firearms, carrying on. Certainly that's a concern for the community, let alone the fact that they had the firearms in the first place.
Was the Sky Zone open? But they were just in the parking lot?
I don't know if it was open or not. They were just in the parking lot of the Sky Zone.
Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys so much.
Chief.